All right, so what's so bad about clutter? I get this I get this question. There was actually a little documentary on CBC, no, I don't, CBC, TVO, one of those Canadian broadcasting stations. And it was actually a clutter about why, not a clutter, it was a documentary about why clutter is good. And, you know, it's interesting because clutter, from a feng shui perspective, people, you know, they ask about like, what does clutter have to do with feng shui? Why is clutter bad? You know, I like my clutter clutter helps me feel safe. But what it is that wherever there's clutter, there's stuck energy, you know, and as we explored before, feng shui is all about energy and how energy moves through your space and how your space makes you feel. So wherever there's clutter, there's stuck energy. So imagine you're looking around a room, and the room for the most part is fairly neat. But in the corner, there's a pile of junk. You know, there's a pile of old magazines, old records. You don't even have a record player anymore, but they're still there. You know, just a pile of stuff that just sits there, collects dust that you don't use and that you don't really connect with in any meaningful way. So when you're looking around that space, it's generally clear, except for this bit of clutter. Your eyes get stuck there. You know, your energy gets stuck there. And that's what's happening from a feng shui perspective. Wherever there's clutter, there's stuck energy. And generally, when our space is feeling stuck, we're feeling stuck in our lives. You know, when I first started working with feng shui, my first introduction to it was a book called Clear Your Clutter with Feng Shui by Karen Kingston. And, you know, I kept so much stuff. I'd done a ton of traveling, and I had lots of little bits of paper, you know, like all the bus tickets, train tickets, movie stubs, maps, lots of souvenirs, lots of little toys, lots of little things that I had collected at some point, but really didn't have any meaning to me. And I also didn't interact with them in any way. And what was really interesting is that I was at a point in my life that I was feeling extremely stuck. You know, I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. To be honest, I had a fair number of addictions to food, alcohol, cigarettes, and, you know, it just really wasn't a very happy time in my life. But when I actually started to look at my clutter and start to clear it, what do you know? Things in my life started to shift. I stopped drinking. My relationship to food changed, you know, became more conscious about my eating. I became a happier person. I also became a person who felt my emotions more, you know, it wasn't just this sort of even keel. But it also made space for me to discover what I wanted to do with my life, you know, what was important to me. So I guess to sum it up, the reason why clutter is bad, you know, it's not bad for everybody. But if you're at a point in your life where you're feeling stuck, where you're finding it difficult to take the next step, if you don't know what the next step is, I really encourage you to take a look at your clutter.